Yeah, there's a lot of people who aren't here, and that's because they don't have the karma to be here. They don't have the karma to be even interested, probably, in a talk on reality. They don't have any interest in reality. Actually, that's kind of what it comes down to. They don't really have an interest in reality. You talk to people like, most people, on the street are like, start talking about, just the beginning of a conversation like we have in these classes, and they just go like, shut up, it's on TV. So, why are you talking to me like this? What's the point of thinking about this stuff? You see, what's on how are the doctors do it? Like that's what they want. That's what's important is what the Dodgers are doing, and what's the new movie that came out? Let's talk about that. Can we talk about some movie? Can we talk about a TV show? Can we talk about games? That's what the Dodgers are. They play games like children. It's like children. They're playing ball. They're throwing balls to each other. Like children. They grow up and play and throw balls really fast. Right? It's just games. They're just playing. They're just spending their whole lives playing games. And hopefully you got a little bit of interest in doing something other than playing games with your life. Otherwise, you wouldn't come. So you can congratulate yourself and feel very, very fortunate that somebody in your past made it possible for you to have the interest in coming here and cracking your head over and over again. For the people who are here for 3 nights in a row, you can really be thankful because not really what you are in for tonight, right? People who are here for 2 nights in a row sort of know what you're in for. People who are here for the first time tonight, well, congratulations for getting here, but you don't know what you're in for, kind of. And you'll find out. It's hard. You'll find out how hard thinking about ultimate reality is because we're not used to it. Because we're stupid, actually. All of us. I'm not pointing at you individually. We are all equally, ignorant. That's why we're here, suffering. That's why we're in this kind of suffering realm, is because we're ignorant. If we weren't ignorant, we would have figured out a long time ago how to be perfectly happy. So our unhappiness stems from our ignorance. And so it's a big, and we're very, very addicted to unhappiness. We're addicted to it. We're like junkies. We can't get enough of unhappiness. And as a result of our grasping, our clinging on to the very coal that's burning us, you see, we're holding on to, like the Buddhist text said, holding on to the coal and going, ow, I'm burning. I'm suffering. Life isn't working out for me. What should I do, I wonder? And then somebody comes and says, let go of the coal. No, not my coal. I don't want to drop my coal. If I drop my coal, I don't know, what would life be like without my coal? You see, basically, right? We're just addicted. We're addicted to coal. We're addicted to coal holding. We have that addiction. I mean, there's some people who have cigarette addiction and there's some people who have crack addiction, I guess. We all have coal holding addiction. We all are in that. So we have to go to detox. We have to detox. We have to go to, what do they call it? Rehab. We have to go to rehab. So Arya Nagarjuna is rehab for coal holder addiction. So welcome. For the people who are coming for the first time, welcome back for the people who are coming the second and third time. There are several things. We're going to start on Monday with a series of classes on what we call Dharma essentials. Like what would be an essential features of a life guided by spirituality? What would a practice look like? What would a practice? You don't call it practice, right? Abhyasa in Sanskrit. What would a real practice look like? And I'll tell you right now, it doesn't look like showing up once a week to a yoga class or, twice a week to Nagarjuna and then the rest of the time not practicing. That's not a practice. That won't get you going very far. So it's got to be daily and every day doing a certain number of finite things, a certain list. And so you'll get the list, especially on Monday, but I thought we'd at least touch on it tonight because what we're doing in this class is one part of that list. Every day, be training your mind. Buddhi, we call it buddhi in Sanskrit. Not buddhi, Okay, we're already training our buddhi. We use our buddhi quite a bit, actually. We think with our buddhi instead of thinking with our buddhi. Buddhi means intellect. Your intellect, your reasoning. And most of us aren't using our reasoning, almost ever. Almost ever, actually. You go, no, I graduated summa cum laude from UCLA. I must have used my reasoning then. I said, not really. No, I mean, you use your reasoning to answer questions on a test or something like that, but you didn't use your reasoning for anything really worthwhile, actually. They don't really teach anything much worthwhile at UCLA. I taught at UCLA. I taught at UCLA. It's not just UCLA. It's generally speaking, you see. It's not really useful. It's just cleverness. It's like teaching you cleverness or teaching you a skill that can like translate into some, dead-end job for a while until you get old and die. See, it's not really useful. How many classes are there in how to be happy at UCLA? See, how many classes are there in how to be a good person? See, if they offered a class like that at UCLA, they would say, that's illegal. You can't teach how to be a good person at UCLA because that's religion, you see. And that's how to be happy. The only way to be happy is to learn, is to practice the spiritual life. It's not like, religion has a monopoly on that business. It's not in the academic world. How to live a happy life. Having spent most of my life in an academic world, I'll tell you right now that almost every academic is not very happy at all. Not very happy at all. There's a kind of an embracing of being unhappy in the academic world. You're considered to be kind of a bubblehead if you're happy in the academic world. It's like, what? Don't you realize like how suffering, like how everything's suffering? Aren't you living in an attic somewhere? Like a suffering artist, like in a garret? Aren't you living in your garret, with your beret, suffering, writing poetry about how dark and black and awful and, nasty everything is, And there's a kind of those people are just trying to be happy too. They're just trying to be happy by being unhappy. They're trying to be happy by being unhappy. And that's not the way to be happy. You can't be happy by being unhappy. So they're not teaching the methods of being happy anywhere outside of the spiritual traditions. The way that you are happy is by learning how to take care of others. That's the method for being happy. So in all religious traditions, there's a dichotomy between method and wisdom. Between the method for being happy and the wisdom that underlies the method. The wisdom that underlies the method. We've been teaching this part of it. In these classes, we've been teaching the buddhi part of it, the wisdom part of it. Using your mind to figure out what's going to make you happy. How come it's possible to be happy, you could say. See, in most of the academic world, they don't teach you that it's really possible to be happy. They teach you that life is meaningless. Ultimately, nowadays they're teaching that pretty much always. That life is meaningless, that life is just empty. But they haven't gotten to the second part. That because life is empty, it could be happy. See, they're teaching emptiness without karma. You could say emptiness without karma. They're teaching the wisdom side in a way. They're teaching the wisdom side without the method side. Nowadays, if you go to the university, you take pretty much any course in social sciences and humanities, they'll teach you pretty much that there's no meaning to life, basically. That it's all just opinion, it's all just like perspective, it's all just, somebody's idea, somebody's interpretation, it's all just perspectival and so forth. And they're right as far as it goes. It is true. That is correct as far as it goes. But then the second step is not there. It's like, well, if everything is empty, then everything's changeable. And then we learn what would be the rules? What would be the rules to learn to change what is empty? What is just an interpretation into another kind of an interpretation? So remember last night we were talking at the end of class about, we're all kind of just living a dream, right? But our dream is a nightmare. We're living, just a kind of an interpretation of life. It's just an interpretation. But we have been unable to figure out how to interpret life in any other way than as a nightmare. Over and over and over again, more suffering, more unhappiness for ourselves.